Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this Christmas edition of The Rant Uncensored. No bleeps today, folks. F the bleeps. Today we got a good friend, yours and mine. We got Pete Johns. Oh, yeah. Howdy do, everyone. Good to see you all. I hope you're all doing well. I got these really annoying bells. They're going to really tick you off, aren't they? Because they're already ticking me off. And I've only had it on for about 5 minutes. And I don't really do the Christmas thing. So welcome along to the show. And let's just get straight to it. Without further ado, the man on the moment, the man who we love to have on every few weeks for a rant. He's a creator. He's a teacher. He's your friend and mine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Pete Johns. Pete, how are you going today?
Oh, sorry, are we on?
Carrots.
I'm doing well. Carrots! How are you, Jade? It is a pleasure to be here to rant with you, as always, and enjoy some carrot cheer. I mean, some Christmas cheer. So thank you. Thank you, as always, for the warm introduction, and I hope everyone is doing very well.
Millions of carrots. Carrots for me. Oh, God, I had that in my head the last 2 days. So, let's say hello to the folks who are here in the chat as usual. I'll run through some names. Clearly, Epic is here. Benedict Stewart, Russ, Barry Tompkinson, Deep Gravity, did I say... I always forget to always say Danny Broderick, Gino Therese, Tom Rochelle, Nina, Dr. Zarders.
Can we do double doctor's orders?
Yeah.
Doctor's orders.
Doctor's orders.
In stereo.
Oh my God. Doctor's orders is a legend. We got to hear Doctor's orders today, which was pretty cool. Deep Gravity Cam is here as well. Scrolling. Bubba, hello, Scott. God, the name list just gets longer and longer each day. Alex Buckus, Ed Zelinsky, and I've finally got my eyesight back, which is really cool. Rock Hard Music, SM Borthwick, cool song at the end of your stream, Pete. Getting down towards the end. Gary Hubbs is here, man. Gary Hubbs. Where's my lawnmower, bitch? We got Andy Goldsby's here as well. Russ is here. Hello, Russ. Good to see you too. Oh, Pete Johns is in the chat. Morning, carrots.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. Thomas Gillane is here as well. Jessica Jan, good to see you, love. And I think we're down. Derek Casperson. There we go. I got it right. And Cold Acre is here, so all our mods are here. Good to see you. Stu Cash is here as well. I knew you guys would be here to see what's happening because we've been playing Funny Buggers, Pete.
I suspect as much. I'm looking forward to it. I don't, but I do like a surprise. I don't fear surprise anymore because nothing shocks me these days. But I do also not like knowing sometimes because I'm a nosy bugger. I like to know what's going on, and I don't. So that's fine. We'll roll with it, shall we?
Yeah. I'll finish off here. So Patrick Chandler's here. Epiphonium. I think I saw Lady Rhodaline, and I think Mary Sarah Music. I'll try and get everyone in there. Sasha, hello Sasha. Saw you over on Jacob Hack's stream earlier today. All right, we've covered most people. If I haven't, I did my best. I've got really poor eyesight, and that is it.
We love all carrots, even if we don't remember you and we can't see you. We love you all.
Man, I've needed some carrots over the last day. Isn't that really supposed to be good for eyesight, carrots?
That's the old wives' tale, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. Oh. All right, so let's have a chat. So this is our last rant for the year.
Yes.
Next week we're doing a rant with Dan Baker, just for something a little bit different.
That'd be a 7-hour rant.
Well, yeah. Well, I was hoping he'd grab some instruments and just go a bit gangbusters and entertain us all.
Love it. I think last time you and Dan got together, I watched the start of the show, and then I went and mowed the lawn, took the kids to school, went to the pool, did the shopping, came back, and you were still talking. So we'll be in for a good one, folks, with Dan Baker on board.
Yeah, definitely. So I got some hot topics to cover today, and we're going to start off with, I think, the thing that's dominated the year, because we're going to talk about stuff that's gone on in the year, I think. And what's the thing that's really been the topic of the year? It is the lockdown, and it is the other C word, which I am choosing not to say now that I'm monetized because I've already seen the effects of it. Yes.
You're better off using the other C word sometimes than the 2020 C word because, it's rough, as you know. As a monetized YouTuber, you gotta watch your P's and Q's.
Yep, sure do. So, look, I don't want to focus on the negatives. I will talk a little bit about some of the ways I've changed throughout this. But you know, there's been for all the negativity that's happened this year through all this lockdown and stuff. There has been a lot of positive things that have come out of this. How has the lockdown been for your creativity and, you know, the way your life has gone this year?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and it's so multifaceted that I can't really give it like a one word or a one sentence answer. But for me, I'm a homebody. I'm a introvert. I love being in my space doing my thing. So in terms of has it affected me that I haven't been able to go out and about and be with people in person and do things, not so much. But every time I think that, I have to remind myself that that's me and other people are different. And because I try to be empathetic to other people, I know that it has been rough. For those that are more extroverted, that do like people and physical contact and like getting out and about, it has been rough. So every time I think, hey, it's not actually that bad here, obviously other people are finding it harder. And obviously other people have had to deal with loss, have had to deal with loss of employment, loss of loved ones, all that bad crap. So I'm not going to underplay that at all. But like you, I think that there definitely have been some positives to come out of it. There's been some change. Like it is just change, folks. Again, at the end of the day, I don't want to underplay it either, but change is inevitable. And, you know, as mentioned in the Christmas show I just did, I've got a song and it's called Things Change. I wrote it like 3 years ago, but it's as relevant today because it says the only thing that doesn't change is things will change. You can choose to kick and scream, but things will change. And I've often said that a true sign of character is how you react when in times of trouble. When things are a struggle, how you actually push through that and how you come out the other side is more of a judge of character. I would rather see how someone reacts to adversity than to see how someone reacts when everything's just ticking along nicely, because I think that's when true character comes through, when humans help humans, when all the good stuff in the world can actually happen. So I know there's a bunch of crappy stuff, not underplaying that, but I think the positives that we've seen of connections, of the friends that I've made online, of the collaborations and the things that have been happening with this community have been amazing. And would they have happened eventually without the C word? Possibly. Has this given us all a big kick up the arse to say, hey, you can do this regardless of how far apart you are physically? You can still get together and be humans with other humans without actually reaching out and touching somebody? Then, yeah. So that's I was going to say a short way. No, that's a medium way of saying what it's meant to me and sort of my experience over the last 9 months.
Yeah, it's 9 months. It feels like a couple of years, but it's gone on for a while. And, you know, we've experienced, me personally, living in Melbourne, I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at, I can say this with confidence. We were probably the longest state or place in the world, possibly, that had a lockdown. We were locked down for 6 months. Yep. It was intense. And so much so that the people here in Victoria turned against our leader and started, you know, hating him and saying he was some of the communist Dan and just all these horrible things, which really, I think what this year's shown me for our species more than anything else is that, you know, as you said, the shit rises to the top during these times of trouble, and it really did during this year, because to see people actually turn on a leader and say, no, I don't want you to look after me and protect my health, I care more about money, was really shocking for me to see. Because only a year ago, people were like, hang on, government, you care more about money than people. And wow, what a turnaround. It was quite shocking to see that.
Yeah, it has been weird. I don't care. Like I don't care what side of the fence you sit on. Like I said, I
Yeah.
support the People Party, which is not to sound a communist. I mean, I think that they're definitely
You
leaning
commie.
to that. But yeah, right, yeah, you're right.
Pizza commie.
But like I believe in people, and I don't actually care. Like I'll listen to what someone has to say, and if it makes sense and if it's helping and supporting people, then I'll go, yeah, I believe what you say. I don't care what side of the fence you sit on at any given time. But yeah, it has been weird and quite wacky to see some of the reactions in some parts of the world in particular, and from some groups of people. And there's I like to say that freedom is all well and good, right? Yeah, and I'm not going. I know that there's a lot of folks that believe in freedom, but freedom is not freedom from consequence, right? Saying that you have free speech, yeah, you can say what you want, doesn't mean there's no consequences. And freedom of action means you can do what you want. It doesn't mean that there's no consequences. So the consequence side of it is that freedom comes with a price. It's the old Spider-Man quote: with great power comes great responsibility. And it's exactly the same with this sort of shit. Yeah, if you've got the power to make the decisions, you've got literally thousands of people's lives in your hands. You can make a decision that is going to protect those lives, or you can make a decision that's going to benefit you in the short term. And unfortunately, we've seen both of those. We've seen both extremes, and we've seen everything in between. And I do think that most people have genuinely tried to do what they think is the right thing by their moral code and by their values and by their ethics. Hasn't always worked out that way. And unfortunately, the balance we have at the moment is that people are over it. They're frustrated. They don't want to do it anymore. And I get it. I hear you and I feel you. But what's the alternative? I don't know. I don't think we've got a choice right now. The virus doesn't care what political leaning you have, and it doesn't care if you believe in it either. It still exists. So there you go. Can get on. We can go.
But it's only old people dying, Pete. It's only old people. If I see
immunocompromised, it's sick people, it's old people, it's all the vulnerable members of our community. Again, like you said, a year ago we were saying how much we need to protect these vulnerable members of our community, and now we're saying throw those suckers under the bus. As long as us healthy 30, 40, 50-somethings can still kick on, why do we care? So, yeah, it is a weird one. And like I say, this is not a political statement at all. This is for sure. I don't make those. I make people statements, and I just say, I just want people to get along and to support other people and to think about the consequences of their actions rather than just doing. There's a whole lot of talking, a whole lot of doing, maybe not enough thinking that goes on from time to time. And you don't want to get caught up in your own head like I do. I'm an overthinker, but at least be a thinker of some sort and think about the consequences of your actions. That's my take on it. But no, it's been rough. It started in March for me being on a cruise ship. I know, weird. We're on a cruise ship. All this stuff was all just like, it'll just go away. And we're on our way to Tasmania on a cruise ship. And we get literally, we're about to touch down on the land of Tasmania. And they said, nah, get out of here. Turn that boat around. So we got turned around and had to go across Bass Strait again. Well, yeah, very, very lucky because we could, if we didn't, would have been spending 14 days at a hotel in Tasmania in quarantine. So, we were actually lucky, and I do think of that as lucky in that respect. But from there, it's been interesting. How about yourself, Jade? What have you found out of the last 9 months? Obviously, you've kicked your ass into gear with all of the How to App stuff and with your channel and with a lot of other things you've been doing and with music production. How have you been finding the transition, the change?
Look, it's been amazing for me. I've got to blossom through this amount of time, and normally I am an extrovert. I've always been an extrovert, but I'm an extrovert performer. I've always been that. But in my quiet time, I'm very introverted, and I'm still extroverted, but I like to stay in my home, and I don't like to deal with people because, for the most part, people are dickheads. Just is what it is. But we're lucky here in Australia. Our government looked after unemployed people, looked after sick people, looked after people who had jobs. And look, I'm normally very political, and this year I put my differences aside for the Australian government. Normally I hate the right side of the government here, but they came through and they looked after people, and you have to give them credit for that. And during that time, we were able to withdraw superannuation, savings, and all this kind of stuff, and it helped me build this, and it helped me find myself and follow a goal I've always wanted to do, and that was teach and encourage. And because I had been working hard on an album, which I still am, and my album was to hopefully create some change, and an album can never really do that. I was fully aware of that. And this has given me the opportunity to just throw those pebbles into that lake and create those small ripples, because it's those small ripples that are the most important thing.
It is, yeah. It's exactly right. It is. It's the small things, and it's a culmination of all the small things that come together. And it's weird that everything. And I've said this before, but everything is just, it's stuff will happen, and it'll be somewhere on a scale between 0 and 10. Right? 0 is the really crappy stuff that you don't like. 10 is where it's amazing. Most stuff is sitting around the 7 or an 8 or a 6 or a 9 or a 5. I just look at it in terms of, you got to put yourself in a position to give yourself more 10s and less 0s, and try to keep yourself above 5. And that's about the way I look at it. Like, some stuff's going to be out of your control. Some stuff's going to be out of your control, but within your influence. And some stuff's going to be completely within your control. If you focus most of your time and attention on the stuff you can control, a little bit of time on the things you can influence, and then just try to ignore the stuff that you have 0 control over, you're going to be happy. And I think happiness is something that we undervalue. People think about, success and money and health and well-being and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're not happy in what you're doing, it's what I say about music. If you're making music and you're not happy, why are you making music? These grumpy old studio techs that are sitting around complaining about this new home studio stuff that's taking money out of their pocket, you just got to move on. And the weird thing is, I lost my job this year, which is weird that didn't even come up. You talked about COVID, you talked about the impact, you talked about everything. I left the corporate world because I don't have a corporate job anymore. But that didn't even come into my negative spinning, because all that did was like, oh, okay, that's an opportunity for me to do more of this and to do more of the things that make me happy. So, yeah, it's interesting. You can look at it again with two different lenses, or multiple lenses. But I think if you're doing the most that you can do to make yourself happy and to look after other people as well, I think the community side of it is something that you've obviously embraced, and that we have wonderful folks here that join us every day and seem to give a crap about what we say, which still amazes me to this day.
Fools!
Yeah,
Fools!
Oh, I know, you bunch of carrots. Don't you know that we're just talking shit? Yeah, it's enlightening, and I learn stuff. I learn stuff every day. That's the thing. I'm never going to. I'm going to rant. Like, this is a rant, and I'm unapologetically ranting. But my view may change slightly by tomorrow, and then by the next day something else. So I think if you keep listening, keep learning, keep being and keep interacting with other people, and don't have a view just because that's a view you have. And be willing to change, and be willing to accept what other people say, and listen. I think if you open your ears, you tend to open your mind. And I know that sounds a bit deep, so maybe we need to bring it back to carrots.
Carrots. Look, and you remember, I remember conversations we've had from a couple of years ago. I remember when I was in that horrible community housing when I was homeless, and I finally got it put in a place. One night we had a chat, and I on Messenger, and I was saying, we're talking about you eventually one day leaving your job to do this full time. And I think that was so it was last year. It was about around April last year. And, here you are doing it. And I think it's, incredible to see that you've got there, and it's come from all this horrible stuff that's happened. And I lost family during all this stuff as well. I've lost friends. It is what it is, I hate that saying, but it is. You've got to get on with it. And like you said earlier, like, it doesn't just affect old people, it affects immune deficient people. I'm one of those people. I have a blood disorder. I can't, if I get this, I'm gone. So, but there's been heaps of positives come out of it. And one of those positives is this show, and I want to bring up this. It is, and it's only a recent thing that's happened, and so it is the rise of the W.A.R.T.
Yeah, the W.A.R.T.
The W.A.R.T. And it is that whole we all rise together, because that's been the driving thing of this. I think it started when I joined GarageBand Users over on Facebook group, and started trying to help people there, put my music up occasionally, but try to encourage people and share any knowledge that I had. And I think it just, for me, I wanted to move across to doing a show like this, because my fingers get incredibly sore typing a lot, and I felt I could do a better job sitting in front of a camera or just talking shit in front of my iPad. And it's turned out really good. And I tell you, above everything else, like, all the happiness and joy I'm getting from getting up and doing this every day, seeing other people's music over on your channel and with your music live and in the groups, just seeing the increase in productivity and the quality of the music, it just blows me away. It makes me cry sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, exactly right. And as Steve here, Clearly Epic, our buddy Steve, one of our wonderful admins over on the GarageBand users Facebook page says, yeah, you have been very valuable to GarageBand users, and being able to help people out, I think, is often understated. And it comes back to the whole we all rise together thing, right? The reason I believe in that and have done forever, and I've said, create, record, release, repeat, like that in itself might be like selfish sounding, but I always sort of pigeonhole another thing in there, which is that it's two-way communication. And that's the thing. Everyone that I've heard in the last year, or the last 5 years since I've been doing Studio Live today, that is complaining, that is talking about the fact that they don't get anyone listen to their music, they don't get anyone comment on their posts, they don't get any interaction. If you look at that person's feed, if you look at that person's page, they are not interacting with anyone else. I don't know where we got this idea that we should expect that everyone will come to us because we're creating when we're not going to anyone else at all. So totally. I don't know if you've experienced the same sort of thing, Jade, but what is it with the whole, I don't know if it's, and it's not just young people. Like I know you can say a lot of people throw the millennials and throw the new generation under the bus as they get off board. But I said it's everyone. And I don't get it. But yeah, what say you? What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, look, I gave up on things like Facebook ages ago for like hoping that people are going to jump on board and, like my music. I'm just going to say this straight out right now. And if there's any people on my Facebook list who see this video, which I doubt they will, on my personal page and don't like what I've got to say, well, if you seriously leave my page. I have a lot of transgender people on my Facebook page, and there seems to be these people who add me just because I'm trans. And that's what we have in common. And you know what? In 2020, I've started to realize it's not enough because I don't interact with you. And when these people do message me eventually, or they just stalk my page and never say anything, when they do, it's all just smut and like empty conversations of, hi, how are you? And they go nowhere. And I wonder, so I've started deleting 10 people a day, and most of them are transgender people because I have nothing in common with them. And for every 10 or 20 that I delete each day, I add one quality person from this amazing music community, which makes me really happy because they're coming from a group of two-way communication of people who are creating things, expressing themselves, growing, and we're communicating and sharing our knowledge. And that's way more valuable than the crap that I currently have. And sometimes you get this on Facebook, and I got it earlier this year. In January, I was getting 50 new ads a day, just all trans people. Bang, 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 bang. And I'm like, where are they coming from? They're like a disease. I don't care. Like, they wear pantyhose. Who gives a fuck? Anyway, and I think that it goes across to the music too, with people just putting their music up there and then going, why is nobody liking it?
Yeah.
You got to interact with people, baby. You got to share that knowledge. You got to let people and screw this like for like crap, because it's the most disingenuous crap out there, and it's totally destroyed social media, especially Instagram, things like that. That's why I don't use Instagram that much.
No, it's the like for like, sub for sub culture has, I rant on this a lot. And look, it's an unpopular opinion, I know. Like, sometimes I talk to people and they're like, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong with, like, someone subscribing to your page and you subscribing to it? Like, help each other out. I mean, I could rant on the technical reasons why it's not a good idea, because if you have a subscriber that is not watching your stuff, they are a dead subscriber, and that actually reduces your ability to get new subscribers that are actually interested in your content. So what I do believe in is if you share some stuff and you're interacting and you're engaging with a community, and then someone else shares stuff and you dig it, then go and subscribe to them and watch their stuff. But if someone shares some, like if someone's into trap beats, I've got no problem with that. You share your trap music till the cows come home. I don't happen to like trap music very much. I'll play it on my show because I think there's a certain skill to actually putting it together. But I'm not going to then go and subscribe to that person's channel. And I'm actually helping them by doing that, because all that will happen is that their stuff will show up. I'll skip over it, which impacts their click-through rate, and then it means that that is not shown, because all these platforms, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, they're all basically looking for eyeballs. They're looking to see what content people engage with the most. If you've got a bunch of content and you've got a bunch of followers and subscribers, all those vanity metrics that everyone seems to love, but none of them are engaging with any of your content, guess what? Your stuff goes to the bottom of the list.
Yep.
And if you go out and buy, like the most ridiculous thing is buying subscribers, buying likes. There are companies you can go to, you can pay $10 and get 100 subscribers tomorrow on your YouTube channel, or 100 Instagram followers. They will be people in a cube farm in India that are going through, and they've got a bunch of different accounts, and they just go through, because most of these places know that the bots don't work. So they're actual humans. So you are supporting someone who's making money from exploiting very, very cheap labor. So that's a bad thing. And B, it's not going to actually add any benefit, because these people aren't genuine, true people that are going to engage with your content. So yes, definitely engage with other people. Definitely share your music. Celebrate the success. When you hit 1,000 subscribers, I was super happy and pumped for you, because I knew that that wasn't, 50 people and 950 weird bots or purchased accounts. That was 1,000 genuine people that dig what you do. Yeah. And if people don't like you, they'll dislike the video and they'll unsubscribe and they'll leave. And that's exactly what you want. People seem to be confused that that's not exactly what you want. It is exactly what you want. If someone clicks onto my video and they don't like it, I want them to hit dislike, unsubscribe, and leave, because there's no value for them here. But there's plenty of value for plenty of people that dig what I do. And it's the same, I think, for everyone. So I'll hop down off my soapbox, but hey, it's the rant. We've got to go there.
Yeah, no, you've segued perfectly into the next point of contention, which is the joys, the ups and downs and difficulties of being a YouTube content creator. Because look, the highs are high and the lows are low. And I'll tell you what, speaking as somebody who has been doing this seriously for 7 months, I've said it in another stream. I got to about September. I started this in June, got to September, and I was like, I don't think I can keep going. I've run out of content. I don't think I can keep it going, and and I was ready to quit. I took a couple of days off around that time. I was actually sick at that time, and what it was that got me back was I went and read through comments, and then I went and read through comments on other YouTube channels that I follow, and I noticed there was not a lot of hate on my channel, and there's a lot of hate on other channels, and that made me realize it doesn't matter about the content. The content's second for me on this. It's me. I'm just up here talking crap about the stuff I love. And the apps happen to be second to me, even though it's called How to App on iOS. It's, as I said, I got this little post-it note up here on the corner of my TV. It says, "Why are you doing this? Get out of bed each day," and that is it.
Yep.
So look, but it's a hard slog, and it's funny, you work really hard to get to that 1,000, and then you get there and go, "Is that it?"
Yeah. Yep.
Now what? Oh, yeah. Tomorrow is another day, and everything's normal again. But I guess I wanted to talk about this is because there's a lot of folks here, all our little warts, our gang of people across both of our channels, and who are starting out and got smaller channels, and I can see them growing and adding 10 each couple of weeks or 5 here. Don't get discouraged. Keep pushing at it. I know Thomas Christ, I watch his videos every day, and this guy is putting out amazing content. And so if you haven't subscribed to Thomas, get over it and subscribe to him. Subscribe to each other if you like each other's stuff.
If you like, yeah.
But check it out. Make sure you
give it a go.
Not just say hello to each other, just check it out. And if you're not into it, it's no problem. But if you like it, just click that little button.
It's totally true. And and congrats to Thomas. I did notice that you hit your 50. You were aiming for 40 and you're at 50 subscribers now. So that is a good thing. And I know I rag on vanity metrics, and I kind of tease a little bit when it comes to that, because I just want to make sure that folks realize that that's not the goal. The goal at the end of the day is engagement, and it's having people engage with what you do, and it's helping people. So the reason that I have my little mantra, which is helping you create, record, and release your best music, is that I put that over everything that I do. So before I do something, I say, right, well, what I do here help people create, record, and release their best music? If the answer is no, I probably shouldn't do it. If the answer is yes, then I should do it. Now, I know that seems a little bit, but sometimes you've got to do things selfish and for yourself. Yeah, you do. And you know what? Once a week, I play a happy hour show. So that is really more for me. But is it? Like, that's the thing. I've realized over time that some of the positive comments I get about that is that might just put a smile on someone's face. So it doesn't even have to be the helping people, doesn't have to be the direct act of helping. And there's something that's said when it comes to YouTube, that there's something that you need to either be entertaining or educating or both. And if you can do both and have a bit of fun with it and be entertaining at the same time that you're providing information, then that's where you're going to be engaging. And I think Mark said it before in the chat here. He said, be thyself. Like that's the truth. Be yourself. And I said it a bunch of times on my channel, and I'll say it here again, is that as soon as I stopped trying to be like other people and stopped comparing myself to other people and started being as much like me as I possibly could and letting my own weirdness and quirkiness and bizarreness come into the channel, the more successful I was. Because I'm not as good at Joe Gilder as Joe Gilder. I'm not as good Graham Cochran as Graham Cochran, but I'm the best Pete Johns going around. No one's got it on me when it comes to being a Pete Johns. So that's the thing I would say. Be the best you that you can be. You're going to find your tribe. You're going to find the people that dig what you do and dig that vibe, and they'll come along for the ride. And then you'll be able to interact and find some of the stuff that's going on there. I've found other communities. I've found other people through what I do that fills up all of my entertaining and my education now as well. I learn stuff from other people. I got a new Mac. I need to learn GarageBand on the Mac. Where do I go? I go to Parts Rick at the GarageBand Guide, because where else am I going to go? So yeah, you through this thing, you're going to find ways and things. So I know it sounds weird. It sounds like a 7-year-old pep talk where those people come in with the sock puppets and they're like, just be yourself, right? That's the best way to be. But that's what it is. I'm dear at 41, and it's the same bloody advice.
Yeah. You've loosened up a little bit this year, Pete.
Oh, just a bit.
Just a bit.
I'm still probably 80% of what I really would be. But again, as we've discussed, YouTube doesn't like some of the more colourful language at times and some of the stronger opinions. I just insert all of those into my music. So,
but you don't have to be colourful. I'm learning that too. You don't have to be colourful. I'm learning that. I think too, since getting 1,000, I think there's been a sigh of relief for me, because I'm now letting my funny side out, because I used to do stand-up comedy for a fair while, and I've played at some comedy festivals, and now I'm not trying to do anything now. Now I think it's just like, there has been that exhale and gone, oh my God, I did actually get to 1,000 now, and I can just be myself and be funny around my friends, because that's how I look at everybody here. So, because it's like I look forward to seeing everybody every day, and I look forward to seeing Cold Acre accidentally put females in timeout every day when he's trying to click on their profile to check them out. I'm looking at you, Cold Acre.
That's you with great power. If you're a moderator, you got the power. You got to be careful. I
don't think he knows how to use it. He's too busy going, oh, there's a hot bird. So Jessica, sorry if you were putting a time out there, but I think our admin was trying to check out your photo. There, I've just thrown him under the bus.
Busted. Oh, look at that. There's your Christmas present to James, is throwing him under the bus. Very nicely done.
Shit, James.
But no, as much as fun it is to pay out James, but no, the YouTube stuff it does become a job, and I've had to be really careful, because here's the thing. You got to also understand where you want to get to with this stuff. You said, once you got to 1,000, you're like, oh, that's a relief, but now what? And it's kind of like when you see these movie stars, and when you see these rich and famous people, and they get $1 million, and then they get $10 million, and they get $100 million, and then they're looking for the next thing. And again, if you want to go dark, it's like the drug user chasing the next high. It's like the person chasing the next thing. You need to work out where your happiness point is. And if you're continuing to chase, I found this in the corporate world. I hit where I was happy, which was being at the sort of that mid-level management. I never, everyone would continue pushing and saying, when are you going to go to the next level? Wait, no, don't you want to be a call center manager? Don't you want to be like a sales, division manager? All these sort of things. I'm like, no, actually. And they're like, oh, but you got to keep
But you
going
have
up the
to
ladder.
climb.
And I'm like, do I? So I don't want an extra $100,000 a year if it's going to mean 4xing my stress level and having 10 people that I have responsibility for that I have to run around and manage. That's not what I'm into. So it's the same thing here on YouTube. Like now that I'm in the YouTube world and I'm a full-time professional YouTuber, still hate that word YouTuber. Sounds bizarre.
I like it.
You like it? You like YouTuber? I call myself a video creator.
I call myself a content creator. Actually, can I just say I was at the supermarket last shop, and the chick at the counter goes, "How's your day been?" Oh, it was like 3 in the afternoon. I went, I just woke up really. And she goes, "Work late, did you?" And I go, "Actually early." And she goes, "What do you do?" And I went, "I'm a YouTube content creator." And she goes, "What's your channel?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't want to give her my channel." Don't worry about it. You probably wouldn't like it. But it felt good to say it.
I'm almost a little glad that we don't have all the usual Christmas parties and social functions where it's strangers, where it's like, "G'day, what do you do for a crust?" And I'm just like, I tell you, can I just say baker or candlestick baker? I don't know.
I'm about to vomit on you.
Right. So yeah, it is tough, and I forgot my. Oh yeah, my point with that was that find what your goal is and be happy with it. So now that I'm in the YouTube world, I'm listening to all these YouTube gurus that are like, so when you get to here, when you get to 50,000, you do this, and then when you get to 100,000, you hire a team, and then your team does all of your video editing, your post production. Then when you get to 500,000, then you bring on a whole bunch of like representatives, and then you go out and I'm like, so what you want me to do is go back to being the manager that I was before, but now it's just all my problem and I don't get a guaranteed income? Yay, where do I sign up? So yeah, I don't want to go to that, but it is weird that the assumption people have is that success is continual movement up the ladder and that the amount of money you make or the amount of subscribers you make is your success level. It's totally not. Your success level is how often and consistently you can engage with people on a one-on-one level and actually deliver some value to them. I know that whole delivering value thing gets bandied around a lot, but value is simply educate someone to the point where they learn something they didn't know, or entertain them to put a smile on their face and make them go, "Hey, that was cool. I'd like to see more of that." And everything else is just gravy. So if you nail down and focus in on those couple of things, I think you're going to be happier, in my view.
I'm going to change my title to W.A.R.T Entertainer.
That could be a very misconstrued as something very, very different. You're a W.A.R.T entertainer.
I think it'll stop idiots from continuing the conversation.
Get a card. W.A.R.T. I don't know.
They walk away. All right, bye-bye. See you later. All right, so we'll wrap up. We got kind of one more point to talk about. Then we got this good stuff to do.
I'm intrigued.
Yes. So what's happening with your channel for 2021? What are you expecting? What have you got planned? What's happening?
What's happening? What is going on? So yeah, 2021 will be an interesting year. The short answer is I don't know. And here's the thing. I don't plan more than a month in advance. You probably know this from watching the channel, in that I'll very rarely say, "Oh, coming up in March 2021, I'm doing this, and then in April this, and then in May this." And that's because, especially at the moment, the world is changing and turning on a dime. So did I think that I would own a Mac M1 and be recording in GarageBand and using that as my main computer right now? No, I didn't, because the Mac M1 at the start of last year hadn't even been thought. Well, Apple had thought of it, but there was no way anyone thought this was coming. So I tend to take things about a month at a time, and I tend to plan out a month at a time and then just work out what's going from there. So the plan for January is to get back into creating more music, because I have been a little bit lapse in actually creating music, focusing in on the shows that I'm doing. So the Your Music Live has kind of taken off, and I really enjoy doing that. And I guess trimming off the things that don't bring me joy and focusing in more on the things that do. So Your Music Live brings me a lot of joy. Doing the Q&A stuff brings me joy. Creating music and doing tutorials brings me joy. So I think what I did, again, because I thought, hey, if you're a content creator, you got to do all these other things. I started, trying to get more clients and trying to do more one-on-one work and trying to do consulting and all of these things. And whilst they've been great and a great learning experience, I've also learnt what I don't like. And I think it's important to realize what you don't like as much as what you do like. So Studio Live today in 2021 will be much of the same, but with a different twist and a different flavor to it. So focusing in, again, continue to focusing on the creating of music, but I guess simplifying things. 2021, I'm going with, in my head, it's simplify and selfish. And I don't mean selfish in terms of doing things just for me, but I think selfish in terms of making sure that I don't burn out, making sure that I don't overwhelm my things by doing too many things, and that I don't say yes to things when the back of the brain is saying no, to not overcommit to things. Because I think
That's
in
hard.
2020, it's bloody hard. In 2020, I said yes to too many things because I wanted to help out good people doing good things. And all I did was put myself under enormous pressure and stress. And then it came out in the work that I was doing. So 2021, from that point of view, is going to be me being selfish and saying, hey, this is my wheelhouse. This is what I love to do. This is where I can add the most value to the most people. And this is what I'm going to focus in on. How about you, Jay? What's 2021 all about?
Just between you and me, everybody. Pete's going to do a death metal album in 2021.
Well, Alex Backus has said, I'm waiting for your ambient tracks. I have been promising that I'll have a second artist, and we've decided it's going to be called Righty Doki, and it's going to be creating like instrumental ambient tunes. So maybe that is something that's going to be a little left field as a fun project, and maybe it'll be ambient death metal. Has anyone ever done that? Is that achievable?
You're going to do it this year. So what have I got planned? I got planned a lot of stuff. I've got a whole bunch of ideas. I've been following your lead, and I've got my little notepad and putting everything from chats and conversations and things I see on groups. I'm gonna start of the year. We're gonna kick off this horror soundtrack movie thing, this community album that I'm gonna put out these tracks I've been working on. And you guys, the warts out there, you're gonna take these tracks and add some stuff to it, and we're gonna release an album together as warts. And we're probably going to call it Warts. We're going to call it Warts. I've already paid for the extra band names with my distro kids. So now I have 10 names to my label account instead of 5. So I can add an extra band and create our own band called the Warts or whatever we're going to be called. I think it's going to be fun. I got some great interviews coming up. We got, I can let you know, early next year, we've got Panaki Deb coming on. We've got Patrick Baird from the Garage Band Gate.
Aye, that's going to be a wee ripper.
Yeah, and we've got also, I'm going to let the cat out the bag now. We've got Doug from the Sound Test Room coming on for an interview, and
from the Sound Test Room, and today we're going to look at a very cool app that I think is a cracker. Sorry,
he never does interviews. I don't think he's ever done an interview, so he's very kindly said he would with me, and I'm got my little finger in the pie trying to get a few very big names up there on that level of Jordan Rudess. So that's coming as well. Maybe Mike Patton. You didn't hear that. So that's what's coming up. And just, more apps and all that kind of stuff. I'm really looking forward to having Doug on. I'll tell you why, not because of the Sound Test Room. Look, I love the Sound Test Room. It's very inspirational to me, along with you and other great content creators. But I just love his music, man. I love his music. He's such a creative, amazing keyboard player, and I just want to shine this huge light on him and go, people, get his music. Like, he's amazing.
And I love that Doug's coming on your show, and I think it would be a great interview. But I do actually love, because Doug is proof that you don't need to be big fame. Yeah, whores. I'll say like us and have our face on here and do all this sort of stuff. You can be low key. You can just show your screen. You can I'd say but there's different ways to do things. Yeah. So if someone's sitting there right now saying, I don't have the confidence to put my face on camera, do a screen recording and just talk over it. Don't have the confidence to talk, write articles about it. Like, there are ways to be creative, and there's ways to share your knowledge. You don't have to just put a camera in front of your face and rant for an hour like we do. You can do it your own way. So if any of you are sitting there going, hey, I don't know about this, take inspiration from Doug. He's been working on it for years and years, and it's changed up and has gone with the flow, and he does different things, and he's tried different things. Some have worked, some haven't. So, don't be discouraged, and don't think that you have to emulate. Goes back to the whole be yourself. You don't have to emulate other people or do things the same way. Do things the way you want to do them, tweak them over time, learn, change, do all that. But find your niche and find your tribe, and you'll be happier in the long run.
And look, it's the reason, like, during the week I don't get on camera, because I'm talking about apps during the week. It's not about me. I want to showcase the apps. You don't need to see my face to see these amazing apps that these amazing developers create, you know. And then once a week you get to see my mug, and I have to put on some makeup and cover up all the bruises on my neck and that from the blood and shit. But, you know, who wants to see that every week? I certainly don't want to see myself each day because I just roll out of bed. The first thing you don't want to do as a content creator is go and have to get ready for something. Anyway.
Exactly. A lot of love for Doug in the comments here. Tom, Dean, Russ, Ed, SM Borthwick. Doug is a wizard. He's a wizard, and he's got that wizard beard. I think if he could totally pull off a wizard look with a big hat on and totally a wizard.
You know, he's helped all of us. He's helped many of us, you know. I still sometimes before a show go, oh, man, I still don't know how to use this app. I will go and watch Doug's video. It is what it is, man.
I think everyone's cheated by watching Doug first.
We all do.
Everyone, like no doubt. And the biggest compliment I ever had was one time Doug was showing off some GarageBand updates, and he was talking about that. And I left a comment saying, cool video, Doug. Really dig the new GarageBand. And he's like, Pete Johns, I watched your video before I did this so I could see what the new update was. And I'm like, yes, finally, Doug has watched my video to learn something, not the other way around.
Nice. Thank you very much, Castaway Studios, for the congrats on 1,000 subs. Thank you very much. All right, so what we're going to do now, before we get into this bizzo here, I'm just going to flick you over to our small screen. Ooh, technology. Look, we've got a little wart thing up there. We've got a little wart logo thing up there as well.
So disturbing.
I know, and we've got mugs too, folks. If you go to the website, you can buy a mug with a wart on it.
If you turn that thumb with the warts upside down, it kind of looks like a cock and balls. Anyway,
it does, and that was intentional. Everything's intentional, Pete. There's a lot of thought that goes into every single thing. Let's bring up this because we want to do this giveaway. So we only had 15 people for grand finale. So, you know, we've had like 20, 26, 30 people this is the last giveaway for the Clev Grant stuff. I want to say thank you again to Clev Grant for doing these 4 days of Christmas, all these giveaways. They rock. So let's get these out of the way. Hit the generate. Good luck to the people who are in this. Number 7, which is Shivam Sharma. Wow. And the other person we're going to do now, get this out of the way. Number 13. Which is Alex Bates.
Nice.
Done.
Congratulations.
So
I didn't win again.
Yeah.
I mean, I never enter. So do I have to enter to win, or I have to do something?
Yeah, you have to enter. So there's the W.A.R.T cups, folks. If you want to. Oops. There's the W.A.R.T cups, and on the back it says "Mistakes make you better."
I like it.
So there you go. All right, so we're going to get into this. Let's tell a story about what's going on. So over on the Patreon, folks, and I will let you know that today's show is sponsored by Patreon. If you look at the pinned comment at the top, you can join the Patreon and be a part of this. So over at the Patreon, we do some kind of fun things here now and again. We look at apps early. We talk a lot of shit about apps. We talk a lot of honesty and stuff on the Patreon. Some streams go for 2 hours. It's a bit of a fun time, and I make a general tit of myself, so that's pretty cool. But,
always the best.
But the last 2 weeks, what we did was I decided to run this little thing over on the Patreon and send out all of the messages to my Patreons, who I have listed here. I'm going to run through them all because they deserve to be known. The first one on the list is Pete Johns, and guess what, Pete? You were excluded out of all these Patreon things.
I felt something was happening and I wasn't involved, and I felt devastated. Yes. But that's fine.
It's the beautiful thing about selecting tiers. I love it. So Gary Hubbs, Bubba, Greg Hernandez, Stu Cash, Deep Gravity, Patrick Baird, James Barclay, Scott, Steve P. Kirby, Wall RTB Studios, Lady Rodelone Street, Thomas Rochelle, Sion, and Dr. Zorders. Dr. Zorders! So thank you all for being Patreon. So this is what we did, okay? I decided I wanted to create something for Pete for Christmas. Because not only is he very inspirational to all of us, he's a great teacher, he puts out great content, but he's you're a super close friend of mine. I regard you as one of my best friends. And I wanted to send you something, but, sending stuff to Adelaide's pretty bad at the moment. You guys get stuff really late for some reason.
Get it February.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with Adelaide at the moment. So I decided everyone else was doing Christmas songs, so I thought I'm going to do a Christmas song for Pete. So I started writing this track, and then I jumped on the Patreon and I invited all the Patreons on. It was probably the most Patreons we had in the live stream ever. It was like 8 or something. Nearly everyone except you. And you were like, I think you were doing something live at the time.
I'm not.
It was just very funny, I thought. No, you were messaging me through it going, just having a conversation.
Are you on Patreon today?
Yeah, I'm like, whoops. So I put together this huge piece of music. Thanks, Pete, for the super chat. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. So I put together this song. It took me a lot of time to put this together. I'm going to show it first. So it was all done in GarageBand. So here it is, folks. Massive project. A lot of parts. Huge parts there. Most of it's all music. So there's only like 7 vocal parts all at the top. So 6 vocal parts and 1 vocal part down the bottom. And all of these were MIDI instruments that I converted into because there were so many plugins. So what I did with the Patreons was ask them for their input for lyrics. And they provided some damn fine lyrics. Let me tell you that. So we got all this together, and then last night I wrapped up all the vocals yesterday. And then I thought, you know what? I was going to sing it to you live, but I'm afraid I would stuff it up because it's such a huge song. So instead I thought, well, why don't I just make a video clip that I can play for you? And nice. And then I can do this. Hopefully it's going to work. So you're going to love this. I can just go, there's Pete. And we can play the video clip and get Pete's reaction down in the corner there with his carrot. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to open up my YouTube and you can see it there, the 12 days of Pete Johns. Looking very scared with his phone that says help on it. I'll show you the full screen. Let's just show you the full screen of the artwork. And after this show, it'll be available on my YouTube channel. So there's the artwork. Oh, man.
I vote 5S and all. Loving it.
Can I just say, last night when I was doing this video clip, I laughed so hard. I had a pain in my stomach for about an hour. So I hope this tickles everybody's funny bone. And without further ado, let's just bring it up here. Whoa. YouTube, why do you do that?
It gets exciting.
We'll make it full screen. And I'm going to turn my mic down, but I'm going to leave yours up a little bit just so I can hear you.
It'll be munching carrots.
I'm going to turn yours down just a little bit because I kind of want to hear you a little bit. I'm going to turn me down. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12 days of Pete Johns. Good luck. On the first day of Christmas, Pete Johns gave to me a lightning to USB 3. On the second day of Christmas, Pete Johns gave to me 2 warm cockles and a lightning to USB 3. On the third day of Christmas, Pete Johns gave to me 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles and a lightning to USB 3. On the fourth day of Christmas, Pete Johns gave to me 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles and a lightning to USB 3. On the fifth day of Christmas, Pete Johns gave to me 5 UR22Cs, 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles and a lightning to USB 3. On the 6th day of Christmas, Pete Johns gave to me 6 G strings, 5 UR22Cs, 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles and a lightning to USB 3. On the 7th day of Christmas, Christmas, Pete Jones gave to me 7 Coopers red, 6 G strings, 5 U.R.22 C's, 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles, and a lightning to USB 3. On the 8th day of Christmas, Pete Jones gave to me 8 knobs of twiddling, 7 Coopers red, 6 G strings,
Go.
5 U.R.22 C's, 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles, and a lightning to USB 3. On the 9th day of Christmas, Pete Jones gave to me 9 doctor's orders, 8 knobs of twiddling, 7 Cooper's Reds, 6 G strings, 5 U.R.22 C's, 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles, and a lightning to USB 3. On the 10th day of Christmas, Pete Jones gave to me 10 new subscribers, 9 doctor's orders, 8 knobs of twiddling, 7 Cooper's Reds, 6 G strings, 5 U.R.22 C's. Yeah! 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles, and a lightning to USB 3. On the 11th day of Christmas, Pete Jones gave to me 11 tips and tricks, 10 new subscribers, 9 doctor's orders, 8 knobs of twiddling, 7 Cooper's Red, 6 G strings. 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles, and a lightning to USB 3. On the 12th day of Christmas, Pete Jones gave to me 12 massive rants, 11 tips and tricks, 10 new subscribers, 9 doctor's orders, 8 knobs of twiddlers, 7 Cooper's Red, 6 G strings, 5 fucking stylers, 4 righty donkeys, 3 clever goats, 2 warm cockles. And a lightning to USB 3. Merry Christmas, Pete Johns. Love you, my friend.
I love you too, and I love you all because you're all sneaky, conniving, but wonderful people. And I was saying to Jade before the show, I'm like, I do, but I don't like being left out of things. I do kind of like surprises, but I don't like not being part of things because it makes me feel like, you know, primary school when you weren't picked in the team and then you were left. No, I love it, and yeah, I love the doctor's orders. That's brilliant.
It was a late edition.
I think it was a bit delayed. Like the carrot thing's only been like a week old, so that was probably a wee bit fresh to to get in there with the 12 bags of carrots.
Tell you what I'm damn proud of. I never put in anything to do with GarageBand.
Right. You know? There was no optimizing performances and anything.
Yeah. Nobody actually said optimizing performance. Like I didn't even think about that. But you know, I think the thing was too with it. I wanted to make it more personal about the things that you your traits, your little nuances that make us all love you. So,
well, thank you. Well, we've got the New Year's show toilet break is in the bag.
Yes.
As conceited as that will be for me to play that on my own show, is going to have to get a spin because it's too cool. So,
and as of now, folks, I'm just actually doing it now. So heading over to the video and clicking on the actual video. And making it.
It's going live.
It was unlisted, but now it is now public. Let me just make sure that's done.
Get there. Gotta get there right first, like the kids do. That's what you do, isn't it?
I think it's public, so save. So now it is public on the channel. So you can go and listen to it. Thank you, everybody in the chat who enjoyed that. Thank you, everybody over at the Patreon who joined in and helped me write all those lyrics and supported the 2 shows that I did doing that. Felt like sneaky squirrel. It was so much fun going, Pete doesn't know.
And I really didn't. Like, I was a little bit weirded out that, because normally Jade is very verbose and is normally very responsive and normally tells me a whole lot of stuff of what's going on. Sometimes more than I need to know. But in the last couple of weeks, she's been a bit mysterious, where she's like, I'm very busy working on a project. And I'm like, she hasn't told me what the project is. So there's something going on here. I don't quite know what, but no, it's very cool to find out. And I was suspicious that there would be something going on here today. So that was very cool, and what a good way to end my pre-Christmas stuff, because I'm going to hit family time now for the next 24 hours. So it's been absolute pleasure as always to be hanging out with you and the community here, Jade, and talking and ranting, and I do appreciate from you and from everyone for your efforts on that. That's super cool. Thank you.
And thank you very much for everything that you do for all of us on your channel and for your friendship and all that. And Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you have a fantastic day. I, on the other hand, am a metheist. I don't celebrate Christmas. This hat is the closest thing we're going to get to it. So soak it up, folks. I ain't doing it, except I have to say before we do go, tomorrow, Christmas Day here in Australia, it'll be Christmas Eve for the rest of you. I'm doing the usual show at 8 a.m. Usual time, your times, and I'm going to sing a live performance of Christmas carols for you all. I have a wonderful selection of Bing Crosby classics and a few other secret things. So if you want to come and join me there at the usual time, I'll croon for you, and I've got a bottle of beer, which I'll be drinking at 8 a.m, which is never good for me. And I've got a handful of prawns too, so I'll be eating prawns and beer, because that's what we do here for Christmas.
Yeah, throw a shrimp on the barbie.
Seafood.
Well,
seafood.
You don't barbecue.
Yeah.
You eat prawns, you peel them, you boil them up and you peel them. You don't ever put shrimp on a barbie, despite what people may think.
Cool. Well, that is the show. Thank you very much, Tom Rochelle, for the super chat. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for all your support all through this year. And I will see you before Christmas again. So I get to say Merry Christmas to you all tomorrow. But thank you for all your support. Thank you for being here today and hanging out with us. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope everyone is safe and happy over this festive period. Good luck. Congrats to the winners. I'll put a message on the video so you can send me an email and get your prize. I felt like Santa all week giving away prizes. Cold Acre's come in with the super chat as well. Thank you very much, Cold Acre. Thank you very much. You're all so kind. So yeah, that's it, folks. We'll catch you around, and I can almost hear it. It's coming. See, I do this every day. You sing behind the scenes here. There's the music. It's coming. The music's coming in the distance, which means it's time to go. So, until I see you tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Thank you, Pete. Adios. Do the things that make you happy. Bye. Oh, thank you, Dean Thomas, for the super chat before I go. Carrots. Carrots.
Carrots.
Carrots. Bloody carrots. 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 Carrots.